Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my February 2019 TBR. Say it with me, everybody. TBR time! Yay! I know so many of you wait for that every month. These are, and I've said it before, these are my favorite videos to do every month. There is nothing I enjoy more than planning and building my TBR. I am so much a planner and an organizer in this aspect when it comes to books. When it comes to other things in my life, not necessarily. But I do love planning out my TBRs every month, and I just love sharing them with you guys. So I'm super excited about this, as I am every month. So if you are new to my channel, and welcome, I do have some new subscribers, so hello. My TBRs are extremely structured. I do not leave a lot of wiggle room for other things. So if there are readathons and stuff like that, I generally don't participate in a lot of readathons in March. You guys are going to see I will be participating. I am one of the co-hosts of March Mystery Madness with Elizabeth over at Lizzie Faye Loves Books. So that's going to be coming up next month. You know, I like to participate in Nonfiction November and things like that, but generally I'm not, like I said, I don't leave a lot of wiggle room within my TBRs to do a lot of readathons. Unless something comes up. I think Contemporary-a-thon is coming up in February, and some of these books, or a good chunk of these books, will probably fit into that. So I may participate in that. We shall see. But, excuse me, as I said, very, very structured TBR. And they are all pertaining, all the books that I pick pertain to different challenges that I'm doing. Personal challenges and some with group challenges. So I will explain about each of them as I get to them. So let's jump in and get started. The very first one, as usual, every month is the RRC. This is the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads. I will leave a link to this in the description box below. And as I say, every single month I've been doing this. This will now be my third year in a row. I completed it 2 years in a row, reading 10 books every month for this challenge for 2 full years. I always say this is open to interpretation. A lot of these prompts really do open it up that you could potentially read any genre. It does not just have to be romance. So if you are not strictly a romance reader, you could fit other things in here. And I think I have actually 2 books that are not romance that I did fit into this challenge this month. So I will read you guys the prompts, then I will tell you what book I am going to be reading. So the first prompt is F is for February. Read a book that starts with the letter F, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with F. And I will be reading Colton Undercover by Ferrarella. This is book number 2 in the Coltons of Shadow Creek series. This is one, I believe, for my Stacking the Series challenge. So I'm not going to get too much into what all these books are about, but I will leave a list in the description box below with all of the books I mentioned. So if you guys want to go, I will leave Goodreads links as well. So if any of these covers look interesting to you, you can go and check them out for yourself. The second one, this year what they're doing is Birds of the Month. So every month they pick a different bird and they give you prompts to go with that bird. So for February, it is Parrot. Parrot symbolizes the everyday beauty that you possess and are surrounded with. The parrot symbolism is a reminder never to take these things for granted, because you never know when they will be taken away from you. Most of all, the parrot meaning puts the focus on love and friendship. Read a book with a colorful cover or with a beautiful scene on the cover, or a book that features a friendship that turned into love. The book I'm actually going to be reading is Fudge, Cupcake Murder by Joanne Fluke. Again, this is a non-romance. This is actually a cozy mystery, but I can fit it in here. This is book number 5 in the Hannah Swenson series. I am going to be listening to it on audio, and it's going to be narrated by Suzanne Toran. This one, I think the cover is nice and bright, for one thing. And for another, they say friendship turned into love. Hannah is actually in a relationship, or throughout the course of the books, this series, she kind of has a relationship with a gentleman by the name of Norm. And they are very good friends to begin with, and now they've kind of got a little budding relationship, so it kind of fits into both prompts. Number 3 is the Featured Author Challenge for this month. So every month they pick a different featured author, and this month it is 2 authors, but I'm pretty sure, no, it's 2 different authors. The Queen of Romance, they are saying Lisa Kleypas, or the Princess of Romance, which is Michelle M. Pillow. Read one book written by either author, or any author with either of their first or last names. They also give you some other prompts. For example, Lisa Kleypas writes mainly historical fiction. She does write some contemporary, and I actually debated on reading one of her contemporaries, which was one that I read. I believe it was one of the very first romance novels I ever read, which was Sugar Daddy, which was so good. I really loved it. But I thought, last month, I did my anticipated reads video, and I talked about her newest book coming out. And I mentioned that I wanted to get into her historicals. And I asked you guys if you had any recommendations. And a lot of people suggested the Wallflower series. So that's exactly what I decided to do. Oh, so, sorry, backtrack. Like I was saying, she writes a lot of historicals. So one of the other prompts was just read a historical novel. But I am picking to read Secrets of a Summer Night by, of course, Lisa Kleypas. Book number 1 in the Wallflower series. So a lot of you guys, like I said, have recommended this to me. I'm super excited about it. I'll be listening to this one on audio, and it's going to be narrated by Rosalind Landor. I love Rosalind Landor's narration for historical novels, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Category, or prompt number 4. And now they get into different days of the month. So they have these, like, I guess they find these weird and wacky holidays, and they fit prompts into them, and I just love it. February 2nd, eat ice cream for breakfast day. Who doesn't love that? It's midwinter. The snow and the cold seem like it will never end, and spring seems so far away. Stuck in a midwinter funk and suffering from cabin fever, it's time to do something weird, odd, or quirky. So let's eat ice cream for breakfast. Read a book with food on the cover or in the story, or read a book just because you want to. Bonus points if you're eating ice cream while you're reading. I might have to do that while I'm reading this one. This is another one I'm going to be listening to on audio, and it's Almost Perfect by Susan Mallery. It's book number 2 in the Fool's Gold series, and it's going to be narrated on audio by Tanya Eby. As you can see on the cover, that couple is having a picnic. That is food, so it definitely fits into this category. Category number 5. February the 3rd is Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl 53 is set for Sunday, February the 3rd at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The contenders this year will be the New England Patriots. Woohoo! Go Patriots! And the Los Angeles Rams. I actually don't watch football. I don't really care for football, to be honest. Millions around the world get together to celebrate the big game. It is the second biggest snack day of the year behind New Year's Eve. I did not know that. Some watch for the game, some watch for the ads. That's totally me. I always love seeing the ads. Either way, it's a big day. Read a book with a sports romance tag, or a book that is set in one of the locations mentioned above, Atlanta, Georgia, New England, or Los Angeles, or a book with the numbers 5 and 3 in the page count or publication date, or with a Roman numeral in the title. The book I'm going to be reading is All He Ever Needed by Shannon and Stacey, book number 4 in the Kowalski family series, and this is going to be narrated on audio by Renee Werbowski. This series is set in New England. I believe they're in New Hampshire, so absolutely fits the category. And I believe what I love so much about Shannon and Stacey's writing, along with her great characters and great writing and things like that, is that most of her books are set in New England, and they mention, like, the New England Patriots, depending on what time of year it is. The Boston Red Sox get mentioned quite often, which is, of course, my team. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. Category number 6, February the 13th, Galentine's Day. Galentine's Day started as a fictional holiday on an episode of Parks and Recreation. It says Season 2, Episode 16. And it has quickly turned into a full-blown sensation. So this is not me writing this. This is the person who created this this challenge for this month. She says, seriously, my grocery store has a whole display just for the day. On PNR, Amy Poehler's character, Leslie Crump? How do you... My husband's shaking his head. He doesn't know. We don't watch Parks and Rec. Sorry. Simply loves lavishing gifts on her girls and sets aside February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, to toast to her best buds. I kind of love this idea. As Leslie said, ladies celebrating ladies. It's like Lilith Fair. I can talk, minus the angst. Read a book that features best friends or a group of girlfriends, or a book with an adult beverage on the cover. Cheers, or set in a bar. I'll be reading About That Kiss by Jill Shalvis. This is book number 5 in the Heartbreaker Bay series, and it's going to be narrated on audio by the amazing Karen White. This book features actually 2 of those prompts. One, this is about a group of friends, but also within that group of friends is a group of girlfriends. And there is also a bar that is part of the, I guess you want to say, set or location of this series. So yeah, this one's going to be a lot of fun. I absolutely love Jill Shalvis so much. Category number 7, February the 20th, Hootie Hoo Day. Don't know what this is. Again, this is the person writing it, not me. Living in Southern California, I don't really get to do this one, but it cracks me up anyway. Hootie Hoo Day is a day to chase away the winter blahs and bring on spring. After all, nearly everyone in the Northern Hemisphere is sick and tired of winter at this point, and a little crazy being cooped up inside all winter not seeing the sun. So, on this winter day, people go out at noon, wave their hands over their heads and chant hooty-hoo. Does it scare away winter? Well, that's the question, isn't it? I've never heard of this before. I might have to do this. Read a book with an odd or mysterious character, like a paranormal or a magical, up to your interpretation, or a book with a wintry or cold scene on the cover, or with a mostly blue cover. So I'm going for a mostly blue cover, and I'm picking A Night Like This by Julia Quinn. This is book number 2 in the Smythe-Smith Quartet series. This is an offshot series of the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. I read the first one in this one last year, and I loved it. Looking forward to this one. Narrated, again, by the amazing Rosalind Landor. Number 8, February 27th, Walk the Dog Day. Yes, if you have a dog, walking it is an everyday thing. But Fido deserves a special day where you just have to take him for a walk. Don't have a dog? Did you know that walking the dog is a yo-yo trick? So if you don't have a dog, walk a yo-yo on this day. If you don't have either, just go for a walk. Read a book where a character has a pet or that has an animal on the cover or in the storyline, or a book where a character plays a trick on someone or has a trick played on him or her. So I'm going for one with a animal on the cover and in the storyline, and that is Barking Up the Wrong Tree by Jenn McKinlay. This is book number 2 in the Bluff Point series, narrated on audio by Allison Ryan. I really enjoyed this series. Again, this is the second one. Really, really cute contemporary series, and I really do recommend it. It's pretty adorable. Number 9, February the 24th is Oscars night. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences awards the Oscars every year for the very best motion picture over the past year. While there are many awards ceremonies over the year, the Oscars are the most coveted? Yes, I can talk. Read a book that features a famous or wealthy character, or has an actor or actress character in the story, or read a book with yellow or gold on the cover or a statue on the cover. I will be reading Dylan by Linda Lael Miller. This is book number 2 in the Montana Creed series, and it's going to be narrated on audio by Jack Garrett. So, in this story, Dylan, our main character, is a famous rodeo rider, so it fits the famous person criteria for this prompt. And number 10, as always, reader's choice, read any book of your choosing. And I am picking Virgin River by Robyn Carr, the first book in the Virgin River series, narrated on audio by Therese Plummer. Very excited about all of these books. My next little challenge for myself, this is a personal challenge, is what I'm calling my TBR from the beginning. Like most of you, I have a huge want to read list on Goodreads, so what I've decided to do is every month this year, and I might continue this going forward after this in the years that, follow, because I think this is a really fun idea, is literally picking the next 2 books from the beginning of my want to read list. So I sorted that list by date added, and I am just literally picking the next 2 books, or like the first 2 books. So this month, something interesting happened because earlier in January, I was going through my Audible, all the books I own on Audible, and I came across 1 or 2 that I want to reread. And I remarked them on Goodreads as want to read because I don't want to forget that I want to read them, and I untagged them as finished on Audible. So again, it would prompt me that I want to read these again. Well, the first one came back up because I added it so long ago. I originally read this in 2016, and I decided I wanted to give it a reread this year, and it came up, and I thought, yay, I can't wait, I'm so excited. So that book is actually a nonfiction book, and it is Made in America, an informal history of the English language in the United States, and this is by Bill Bryson, narrated on audio by William Roberts. I am really looking forward to this one again. I am a huge history buff, and I am one who likes quirky history, and I was an English major in both high school and college, and nothing ever happened with my English career, sadly. I work in customer service now. But I just love the history of language, and I really enjoyed this book the first time around. Again, I read it a couple years ago, but with nonfiction, you do pick up more when you reread them, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one again. And the other one, something completely different from that one, is KCPD Protector by Julie Miller. This is book number 23 in the Precinct series. I believe this is a Harlequin intrigue novel, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. Yeah, I mean, book 23 in the series. I learned early last year that I'm okay reading books out of order in series. Most contemporary romance novels you absolutely can. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one too. The next one is actually a challenge that I am hosting for the entire year over on my Goodreads group. There will be a link to this in the description box below if you are interested in checking it out. And it is called the Audible Romance Package Category Challenge. I do subscribe to the Audible Romance Package on Audible, of course. And there are, if you click on it and you go to the category section, there are actually 40 different categories that you could delve into on this for Audible, for the romance package. And what I did was I picked 24 of them that really interested me. It's been a long day. I'm filming this on Friday night, guys. I do apologize. And what I did was I wrote those 24 prompts down and I stuck them in this jar because this jar is super cute with the little ghosties on it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull these out. So I don't know what these are. These are the only 2 books on my TBR that I don't know what they are yet. So what I do is I pull the 2 out, and then if you guys want to participate with me, you can either I'm going to pull these out, and then I'm actually going to pause the video. I'm going to jump on my computer, and I'm going to search through, and I'm going to find the 2 books, and then I'm going to come back and tell you guys what they are. So you can either read the 2 books that I personally picked. I just picked these, you know, something that looks good to me for the books. This is going to be a random draw out of the jar. Or you can take whatever the theme is or category is and go on and have a look for yourself and see if there's something else that you might find interesting. But it's kind of a fun way to delve into different categories that you might not necessarily jump into. So yeah, so let's see what we have for this month. Very exciting. So there's all my little, we'll shake it up a little bit. We don't want anything to fall on the floor. And we will pull one out at random. So there's one. I'll get both of them while I'm here. While I'm digging into this. 2. All right. Let's see what we have for this month, you guys. Oh, so let's open the first one first. So the first one is going to be Roaring 20s. Oh, fun. So the Roaring 20s time period, guys. This one should be a lot of fun. So yay. And then the second one is going to be, oh, the 15th to the 19th century. Interesting. 2 time periods I generally don't read too much about when I'm reading historical romance novels. You know, usually it's Regency or American West or something like that, but this is going to be a lot of fun. So I will be back in just a few seconds, guys, to tell you what I picked. Okay, so let's see what I picked. So for the Roaring 20s, there was not a lot of selection. I think there was like a page and a bit or something like that. But the book that I found sounded really good, and it's called Night of a Thousand Stars by Deanna Raybourn. This is going to be narrated on audio by Anna Parker Naples. This is about a woman who flees her wedding on the day of her wedding, and her rescuer, if you will, after the wedding, he disappears, and she kind of goes off in search for him and in search for some mystery. But it sounds really good, and I thought, yeah, this one looked like it'd be a lot of fun. And the other one, the 15th to 19th century, it actually says England. But when I went in and was looking at some of the books, some of them are actually set in America at the same time period. So I don't know what's up with that. But I mean, as long as you get the time period, good enough. And as long as the book is in that category listed on Audible, it's perfectly fine. So in case you guys do want to participate in this, just an FYI, I will post in the description box, I'll leave you a direct link to this challenge on my Goodreads page, or on my Goodreads group page. And in that page, I actually direct link to the categories, so you can kind of scroll through them and see. Anyway, the book that I picked here was Wolf Bride by Elizabeth Moss. This is book number 1 in Lust in the Tudor Court series. And it's going to be narrated by Charlotte Ann Dorr. And this is about a woman who is a lady-in-waiting to Anne Boleyn. So this one sounds really interesting. Of course, there's a lot more to the story than that, but I just thought, why not? Again, I do not read a lot outside of the Regency time period, or, you know, even the American West time period, so these ones are going to be a lot of fun, I think. The next challenge I'm competing in, I should never say competing, participating in, is Romanceopoly, which is being hosted by Jessica over at Peace Love Books and the girls from the Under the Cover book blog. So essentially, I don't have it near me right now. You actually have a bingo board, like you can print it off. I will leave a link, there'll be lots of links in the description below, to their website. You can start at any time. It runs for the entire year, and there's actually going to be 3 books I'm reading for this month, but I only have 2 of them down here because one is a mystery that we don't find out until February 1st. So, you know, when I get to it throughout the month, I will let you guys know that. But essentially, you roll, like I have virtual dice that, you know, there's a dice randomizer online. I roll random dice and I pop my way around the board. And the two that I came up to, I got them last night. I was putting this list together. I said to my husband, really? Like, you guys, if you watch me for a while, you know, I do love romance, but I'm not big on sci-fi and stuff like that. And the first one I got was steampunk. I don't think I've ever read a steampunk novel. And they have recommendations on the website, which is great. So it was kind of a great jumping off point for me. And the one I saw was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. And I know a ton, everybody and his brother on BookTube has read Cinder and is it the Lunar Chronicles series? Which is a YA kind of what are they, fairy tale retellings? And I kind of wanted to read it, and I thought, well, this is kind of a great time for me to do that. But I looked all over for it. Now, my library had copies of it, but they were all on hold, and there was no way I was going to get my hands on them for the month of February. Like, I think the ebook had like 12 weeks, and the audiobook had like 13 weeks. I could have gotten it from Audible, but I didn't want to waste a credit on it because I might not like it. And I didn't want to out and out buy it again because I might not like it. So I looked through the rest of the recommendations and I saw this one. It really caught my eye and I thought this one sounds really good. And it is called, the square I landed on was London Street, which is a steampunk. The Diabolical Miss Hyde by Viola Carr. I'm going to be listening to this on audio, narrated by Beverly A. Crick, who I'm a big fan of her narration. This is the first book in the Electric Empire series. And this is, they say it's kind of a steampunk retelling of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And what's so funny, it's scary how much Amazon and Google and things like that know you. Because I was searching for this book. And then today, I get the emails every Friday from the Smart Bitches Trashy Books website, and they send out emails an email every Friday with all the ebook deals that are going on, you know, during that week. And the second book in this series was up as an ebook deal, so I went ahead and bought it. Already I haven't read the first book, but I bought the second book because it sounds good. And who knows, I might find an entire new genre of romance that I've never delved into before and that I really love. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one quite a bit. So the second one, this is not a romance novel, even though it is Romanceopoly. But the next square I landed on was Alien Avenue. And it's a sci-fi. And it says right on the thing, a sci-fi romance or just a science fiction book. So, as I said earlier, I was going through my Audible books earlier in January. And I came across this one that I had not read yet. And I was so mad. And it is true science. Well, it's not true science fiction, but it is. If you look it up on Goodreads, the very first thing it's tagged is science fiction. And that is The Truth Is Out There by Jonathan Maberry and other authors. This is a collection of X-Files stories written by other authors. I read the first one, Trust No One, a number of years ago. It was so good. And this is narrated on audio, I love this, by Bronson Pinchot, I think I'm saying his name correctly, and Hillary Hubbard. Now, if you're wondering who Bronson is, if you are of a certain age, like myself, you might remember a television show called Perfect Strangers. He played Balky. And when you listen to him narrate, you cannot put the two together. It is hysterical because I'm listening to it going, no, it's not the same guy. It just must be a guy with his name. But no, it's him. But the voices are so different and he does such a fabulous job. But yes, I am really, really looking forward to delving into this one. This isn't a series per se, like there was the first book, Trust No One. No, yeah, Trust No One, and then this one is The Truth Is Out There. There's a third one. Jonathan Maberry just puts these collections together, and they are fabulous. If you have not had a chance to read them, and if you are an X-Files fan like I am, I am not a sci-fi person, but the X-Files, I lived for the X-Files. I loved it. I was that kid in the 90s. So anyway, super stoked about getting to this one. So my last books that I want to talk about very, very quickly are my review books for the month. These are the books from NetGalley that I have slated to read in the month of February. All of these books, except for the last one, come out in February. I mentioned this in a previous video. My goal at the beginning of this year is to shift my review books. So I'm reading the books a month ahead of when they're actually to be published. So I'm going to be like pulling a book forward and eventually to the point where it'll all kind of shift itself over properly. So the last book I'm going to mention is not coming out till March, but I'm glad I'm going to be reading it early. So again, I don't know a lot about these, but they look good. The first one is The Alamo Bride by Kathleen Yabrero, I believe is how you say her name. This is the 7th book in the Daughters of the Mayflower series. This is a historical fiction novel set obviously in the Alamo in Texas. I love, love, love historical fiction. This one looks like it's going to be really good, and I cannot wait to get to it. The next one is Say You're Sorry by Karen Rose. This is a romantic suspense novel. Looks really good. She has written a ton, and I have never read her, so I'm very excited about getting to this one. All In by Shelley, Shepard, Gray. Book number 2 in the Bridgeport Social Club series. This is a contemporary romance. Looks fantastic. And then No Good Tea Goes Unpunished by Bree Baker. This is book number 2 in a Seaside Cafe mystery series. Of course, an adorable cozy mystery series. And another cozy mystery series called Chocolate a la Murder by Kirsten Weiss. This is book number 4 in a perfectly proper paranormal museum mystery. Say that 3 times fast. So there it is, guys. There are all of my books. I know this was a super long video. These always are a super long video. I think it's 26 books in total, if I am correct in my counting. 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It will be 21 because I don't know what the mystery is yet. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 books. I am right now on target for finishing everything for January, and January I had 25 books. Now, February is a shorter month, but I'm positive I can get to all of these, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to them. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I'm just going to sit here and ramble if I don't stop now. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, or, you know, oh, very quick before I let you guys go, I'm so sorry. Originally, what I was thinking about doing, because some people have mentioned this to me, is that you guys kind of want to see how I build these TBRs every month. Like, yes, I sit here and I tell you all the books and stuff, but how do I build them? Like, how do I pick and choose what books I'm going to read? I was talking with Giselle over her channel is Giselle Bradley, and she does these great live feeds using this program where she can show her desktop and then a little picture of her in the corner. Please let me know, guys, in the comments below if this is something that you would be interested, because I would absolutely do like a live show, quote unquote, to do my TBR. Now, I would not do a separate TBR video after that to tell you guys what books I picked. I actually do a blog post as well with all the books, so if you're interested in seeing that. But if it's something that you guys would be interested, please do let me know, because the cool thing is that you can chat with me. Like, there's a chat section, and I can kind of go through my TBR and show you guys what I'm doing. These will definitely be longer videos because this can take me a couple hours or more to do. I can't give any kind of timeline. It's just live. You can pop in and out if you want or whatever. Or if you guys just want me to do like a live Q&A or a chat or anything at all like that, I'm more than happy to do that. So please do let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, I'm going to let you go and I'll talk to you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.